Hey everybody, and welcome to another podcast at the IN8 Summit. We have the beautiful Olivia here today, who's pretty excited to be here, and we are wrapped to have her. So thanks for joining us on the podcast, Liv.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here.
Yeah, I think I know you very well, obviously, and a lot of our attendees do, but you're actually kind of a bit of a unique, speaker this year, and also attendee and everything else. Your story is pretty, I think, quite exciting, and I think we're going to get a lot of value out of it for our attendees this year. So tell us a bit about you, about if you've been to IN8 Summit before, and I suppose a bit of your background.
Sure. Yes, I've definitely been to the IN8 Summit before, and it was really like the way I was introduced to vitalistic chiropractic. So I won't give my whole story away, but I was adjusted and thought it was amazing. So got in touch with some local chiropractors, and they invited me along to the IN8 Summit. I had no idea what it was, but turns out it was the very first IN8 Summit on a Sunday afternoon. And I went down there and I heard for the first time in my whole life about the power of us, I guess, the power that made the body heals the body. So that was the first time I'd heard that message. And then, it's all from there, really.
It's like a pretty serious baptism of fire, kind of. I know,
yeah.
I know what you're going to be talking about, so I don't want to give too much away, but I really do think for all of you students out there, for you new graduates, and even for young docs and even old docs out there, Liv's just literally, I'm not going to give too much away, but like she just kicked ass. Like, yes, you only graduated, what, less than 12 months ago? Or
just over. Yeah.
Okay. And you've gone to school, you've dealt with the RMIT, you've graduated, worked with a champion, or it depends on which side of the fence you want to sit on, who's Adam, who's also speaking this year. But then now you bought your own business, and now you are running a very successful practice, and you're 12 months out, and you're having to learn to pay bills and pay staff and support yourself and bring in new clients and deal with all the COVID chaos as well. Like, you really have had a serious amount of growth in the last, we'll say 18 months, but more like the last 6 years. So well done.
Oh, thank you so much. It has been a really steep learning curve, but one that I've enjoyed so much. And the reason I've been able to grow how I have is because of people like yourself and Adam and all my other amazing mentors, but also because of events like the IN8 Summit that have been there to have my back.
So on that, maybe for some of our attendees or attendees or listeners, you've mentioned, obviously, you've just said yes along the journey to having mentors and those kind of things. So what could you suggest on any student out there that might be like, shit, man, what do I do? It's freezing cold. I'm living in Scumdura or Bundura, and I'm also, or I'm going to, chat somewhere out in like in Macquarie or in Murdoch or some other college. It's freezing cold. I've got to kind of get through these exams, and like literally life sucks right now. I've got no money. I can't even afford to buy coffee, but yet this chiro thing's meant to be good. Like, what would be your advice to those kind of students?
My advice would be just to get re-dipped in chiropractic as often and as much as you can. And do that by reaching out to people like you or myself or anyone that's involved in the IN8 Summit, any of the speakers, like we are there to help you. Like I love helping the students because so many people helped me, and I just desperately want to give back to them as well. So find us, reach out to us, find your people, find your tribe. And with having that tribe around you, like it was never a question for me. It was hard, and I didn't have money to buy a coffee. But I knew that I had all these people around me to support me. And that's really what continues to lift me up and get me through when times are tough.
And the cool thing about that is, like, when you're a student, you're paying your way through college. But as a chiropractor, you can buy coffees for students, and that's classed as a tax deduction. So like we can do it all the time. You can
all the time
buy a load of beers, and you can buy food for students. But the biggest thing is that chiropractors are usually busy with the staff and paying expenses and everything else. If you make it easy for the chiropractor to come and hang out with students, the chiros actually love doing it too, don't they?
Yes, it's awesome. It gets us fired up as well. So not only students going to these events and students going to adjusting nights or like the wonder nights that have been happening and stuff like that, but the chiropractors getting to go to those things is just as inspiring for us too.
Yeah, I love that. And so tell me, you said, like, try and find your tribe. To be the devil's advocate for a second, some of those students might be, coming from Mildura to Melbourne, or they've come from like country New South Wales to their Macquarie, or they've come from somewhere outside of their normal habitat. how can they just kind of get a chiropractor? How can they just kind of be like, what do you mean just get on the phone and call someone? What would you do if you're in those shoes where they haven't got a chiropractor or they don't know someone? What would you do in that situation?
I would do what I did do, and I literally just emailed some chiropractors. I emailed the closest 3 chiropractors to my house. Obviously, I really got lucky there and found an amazing vitalistic chiropractor. But I mean, literally just reach out to me or to you, Sam, or to any one of us speakers, and we'll put you in touch with someone that's near you or someone that can help you. And definitely get along to those student nights and those adjusting nights where you're going to meet. We had one recently at our practice, and we had I think 30 students there, and they were the coolest people ever. Like, come there, make some friends, meet some people, and then there you go. That's 30 students ready to help you. There were 5 chiropractors there. Like, we're desperate to help you. We just ask.
And that's so cool. Like, Olivia has only graduated like just on 12 months ago, 18 months ago now. And she's saying, yes, and we want to help. Like, so she's totally owned the fact that she's a chiropractor. And I have had that many students say, holy shit, so I'm in 5th year and I can't even I can adjust, but I can't adjust. I'm meant to be getting paid for my treatments next year. And what the hell? And like, all this fear for Liv to kind of go so well through this process. And then now you're calling yourself a chiropractor and you own it and you know it. You've done some serious work behind the scenes. And I've seen you at every seminar, all the syntropy stuff. You host the Wonder Nights now. You're heavily involved with like every IN8 Summit. I think you've been to, before you were a chiropractic student, you actually were you were at the IN8 Summit. So you haven't missed one, which is absolutely awesome. So thank you for following up and being there. And I had Adam on one of the podcasts before, and Adam said that you've bought his practice. And all of your team are coming this year. You were one of the team back in the day, and now you are the main person in front of the team. Why would you say it's a good idea from a team's point of view now, changing gears from student into being a boss, to bring a team along or to have like that connection?
Well, I think that as chiropractors, we see these, and even as a student, I heard about it, but we see these amazing things happen all the time. And we know how powerful chiropractic is. We love it. We live it. But for the team, they might not, hear all the stories, or they hear stuff from us and they hear stuff from our wonderful practice members. But for them to go to the IN8 Summit, they just get, they can go a little deeper into the philosophy, really learn about why we're so crazy about it and why we love it so much. Yeah. But then bringing a team back and having you all on the same page is so important. And I saw that as a chiropractic student and as a CA, when like that Monday after the IN8 Summit, when everyone's got their purpose, got their why, know why we're there, like more miracles happen, and a lot of growth happens, and it's just the best. It's the best event of the year. Like, it's so fun.
Yeah, nice. And I totally agree. And that's kind of why, I love having you on the stage this year, because you are going to bring a beautiful demographic to the stage. And I suppose a question that I've got coming from a chiropractic student mindset is, you hear these crazy nutbags on stage talk about the miracles and talk about, the power of the body, that made the body, and all this kind of philosophy and the mumbo jumbo. But you've been in practice now for a little while, owning your own business. That's a whole other conversation. But can you give us a small little, I suppose, a win that you've had 12 months in, that's pretty much you've got your hands on someone and there's been a pretty serious change? Have you got even one that comes to mind right now, putting on the spot, that you can talk about or tell the students about?
Yeah, for sure. I've got 2 that I really want to share. They've both happened in the last 14 days. So that's how often this cool stuff happens. I had a woman who came in and her pain was so bad she couldn't sit down at her initial consult. Start adjusting her. The pain's like the first thing to go. And as we know, like back pain, neck pain, maybe not that sexy, but it is miraculous for people when that clears up.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, that cleared up. She continues to get adjusted. And she said the other day, without me sort of prompting her, she said, "You are never going to be able to stop me coming here. I love coming here. I walk in here and you are just like my friends and family. Everyone is so lovely. And when I leave here, I don't know what it is, but I just feel," and she's like going like this. She's like, "I just feel, and I said, "Connected?" She's like, "Yes, exactly." And she said, "I don't even feel like I need an adjustment, but I leave and I just feel incredible. I'm never going to stop coming here."
Oh,
so I was like, she got it. That was exciting.
Yeah.
And there's so many, but another story comes to mind where we had a lovely guy who was, I think he's about 45, but he'd been suffering with migraines since he was 15. No,
Yep.
he must be 55 because it was over 40 years. And he was told, don't go see a chiropractor because X, Y, Z. Anyway, I rang him and spoke to him. We had a chat and he came in. We've started adjusting him, and he, just to witness like the real him come out, because he's just been suffering for so long, and just disconnected and subluxated for so long. And he comes in now and he says, I don't have to take boxes of Panadol with me everywhere I go. That used to be what I would have to do. And that has been life-changing for him. And like I said, I know maybe migraines aren't that sexy, but the fact that he's not having them means that he can live his life. Like his life's just been put on hold for 40 years.
Totally.
And now he gets to enjoy being with his family. Or, he might walk outside, instead of thinking about his migraine, he's going to look up in the sky and think, man, like that's beautiful. Or look at that sun today. Or he's going to feel the sun on his skin. That's the kind of stuff that I think about, and I know would have changed for him. So that's
so
some cool stuff. Yeah.
And the reason why I wanted to share that is because, like, I think that I'm as young as you. I'm like, yeah, I'm one of the young, cool, funky people. And then Zach, who works with me now, and some of the colleagues that I go out with, like, Sam, you're an old bugger, you got 5,000 children, you got grey hair in your beard. So I'm like, man, so, but I still feel that I'm young. But apparently Matt Caratelli once said, Sam, your words don't mean much to students right now because you're that old guy. So that's me. But having your story, you only graduated last year or within 18 months ago, and you have had that story. It wasn't passed on to you from another chiropractor. They've come in from a fresh, like, clean slate. They've met this person called Olivia. They've had their adjustment from Olivia, and they've had some cool changes. That's what every chiropractic student has the potential to do. And I don't reckon they're getting that at universities right now, which is why I'm so keen. Like, I'm like desperately excited about the IN8 Summit this year, because first of all, it's going to be a kick-ass lineup. There's going to be a huge party. It's going to be a bucket load of fun. And I know there's going to be a flow-on effect for years to come from the IN8 Summit. But like, I don't reckon that some of the students out there know what they're missing out on when they don't come. Like, that's my own opinion. Obviously the event is, I'm involved with the event, so it doesn't have as much words when I say it, but I'm like so excited for your story to get to the stage, because I think you're going to speak to so many people. So thanks for saying yes. And I did hear you at the Wonder Nights, and that was one of your catchphrases. So I'm going to leave that until you talk, because I think it's quite powerful. And so tell me, as well as that, how has, I suppose, chiropractic and this journey of the last 18 months, what has that done for you and family, partner, like, I suppose, life direction, those kind of things? Can you give us some more information about that?
Yeah. Well, I guess saying yes to these opportunities is really scary. Saying yes to going to uni to study chiro was scary, and then finishing and starting in practice and then taking over the business. It's all been honestly terrifying. But as I mentioned before, with the people around me that are lifting me up, like I feel like, some days are harder than others, but I feel like I can't fail. Like the universe has my back, and you guys all do as well. But as far as what it's done for me, it's pushed me into like rapid transformation and growth, which has been amazing. And experiencing that transformation and feeling all the things that come with that have just made my life better in every aspect. So I have a deeper, the time that I spend with my family and friends might be more, like I don't get to do it as often if I'm a bit busier or whatever, but it just is more meaningful, and we have deeper connections, we have deeper conversations. Same with my partner. And then of course, from a financial standpoint, it's difficult when you're first getting things going, but I know that doing this is going to set us up for years to come so that we can have a family and have all the things we want, or, go on holidays and just live our lives. So it's cool that by me helping people live their life to the fullest, or living their life, expressing life as best they can, means that then I get to do that as well by being a chiropractor. It's like a weird cycle.
And you know what's cool about that? Just then, I could tell that I can remember when I was in my first 12 months, I would equate a carton of beer and a tank of fuel was like, holy shit, that's like, I got to fill my car up with petrol. And back in the day, it only cost me $45 to fill up my old Volvo.
Yeah.
And then a carton of beer was about $35 to $45 as well. I never did that. And then an adjustment back when I first graduated was the same price, like $50. And then when I first graduated, I kept saying to Simon, my brother and my first associate, saying, Shiva, Simon, like it's only going to be a 2-minute adjustment. It's going to be like $50 for that adjustment. How does that work? And I found it quite difficult. So money was my issue. And I could see you then just when you're talking to us, I could see you're like, oh yeah. And like, your growth and the connection and then like, and the money side of things, you can tell like as a chiropractor as well, it's also quite nice when you do a good service, people love your care. And then the chiropractor has the issue around money usually, especially as a student for 5 years, you haven't had much money. Then you start adjusting and all of a sudden it's like, oh, actually the universe has got my back energetically, financially, from a love point of view. It just becomes like as if you're doing so much and you don't even need to be paid for how much love you get back from the adjustments, but you also get paid handsomely as well for that. So I could just see you talking then saying, yeah, you didn't want to mention that finance stuff. It's nice to see a student who's just freshly graduated with a smile on her eye, smile on her face and like the glint in the eyes, knowing that you can actually afford now to, I think last time you said you're going to sponsor a few students and you've done that at the last Wonder Nights. And every time people want to have need some help, you're the first one to say yes. So Olivia, you're an absolute champion. I'm so excited to have you more and more involved with the IN8 Summit. I remember when I asked first, I said, hey, do you want to speak at the Wonder Nights? You were like, and the feels in your eyes. And then after you finished, you're like, oh, thank God that was done. And I said, hey, Olivia, question, how would you feel about speaking at the IN8 Summit? And you were like, sure. So thank you once again for keep on saying yes. You're a legend.
Yeah, got to say yes.
You got to say yes. I love that. So tell me, from that this year, you've given us some pearls already. What are you most excited about this year at the IN8 Summit? It's going to be the first time we've been together all together with hugs and high fives and kisses for the first time in 2 or 3 years. You personally, for the practice, for you and for the team, what are you most excited about?
So many things. I'm really excited to be hugging a lot of people.
Nice.
And just loving up on everyone. I'm really excited to see heaps of people that I might not have seen for a couple of years. Of course, I'm really excited to speak. That's going to push me way out of my comfort zone, but I know it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited to speak and to share my story and hopefully inspire some students and some new grads and let them know that there's nothing special about me or different about me, and to let them know that, yeah, they can access all the tools that I have and do awesome things too. I am excited to bring the team along, because that'll be the first, we do things together as a team, but it's really exciting that I get to take them and go to Sydney, which is cool. So that's going to be a fun weekend away, but just to get them excited about chiropractic as well. I mean, they are, but because it has been a couple of years, they haven't really been to many events. Some of them are relatively new staff members, so they haven't been to any. So I don't think they know what to expect. I've just been saying at the meetings like, oh, the IN8 Summit's coming and it's awesome, you have to go. And they're like, what is this? Anyway, they're coming.
Nice.
So I'm excited to bring them all along. And it's honestly, and not just saying this because I'm on this thing, but it's the best event of the year. It's so good. And I would, like, if I was a student, I know it's expensive. We're just talking about money. I had no money as a student. Like, I would sometimes put like $8 or $9 worth of petrol in my car. Times were tough. But just ask the universe, ask your friends, ask your family, do what you can to try and get there, because it is absolutely worth it. And you can't miss it, really. I'm excited for it all.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that too. I think you're right. Like, so a lot of the students often will ask to be sponsored. And that's one thing that's great. But I would also suggest that I went to every DG when I was growing up, when I was in first year, second year, right through, and I paid my way and would be like our big yearly holiday in February, go up to DG in Queensland and do our thing. Yeah. And so, yes, if you can get a sponsorship, that's great, but there's not going to be enough chiros out there to sponsor all the students in Australia. So it's going to be a couple $100. Pretty much the chiros subsidize half your ticket. The cost when you go there, you're going to be fed on the Friday, on the Saturday and the Sunday. There's going to be food. There's going to be coffee. There's going to be a whole bunch of fun stuff. And the whole catering is taken care of. So I would highly suggest it's a couple $100 for you guys to get there. Chiros are paying 3 or 4 times your price because we're making them subsidize some of your tickets, but we just can't give the tickets away. Otherwise I'd go broke. So like, I'm going to definitely suggest to the students out there, definitely get involved. Like, ask your parents for a holiday, and you might think, why would I ask for an IN8 Summit ticket for my birthday? I'm telling you, it will be a life-changing event. And you can look at Olivia. She's 5 or 6 years down, and she's literally kicking butt. She's buying her practices, and she's kicking ass in every aspect of the word, because she said yes, and she came to every single IN8 Summit, and she paid her way along the way as well. So,
I was helped a lot by Adam.
Yeah,
just need to say that.
No, don't give him the accolades. He's an idiot. I love the guy as well, but hey, anyway. So, yeah, I know you were helped, but I want to try and make sure it makes clear you've said yes in other ways. There's been a financial help in some regards, but also you haven't been afraid to pay it back in a big way. And then for the chiros out there, as you've already heard from quite a few of our speakers, the students are desperately keen for connection. Like, I won't bag out different colleges because I've been to quite a few of the different events at different schools. And some of them are desperate. They couldn't even tell me who BJ Palmer was. And that is no lie. They couldn't even tell me who James Stiggerfoos was, or Fred Barge, or like some of the greats that I was encouraged to go and listen to. So they're going to get that new age of understanding of chiropractic and maybe a new swing now.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't give it to them now, no wonder why the associates aren't as good as we all wish they were. They've got to get exposed to these kind of things. And the only way for it to happen is if you guys can't get there yourself, or you can afford to sponsor a student, please do, because they will be so grateful for years and years to come.
Yeah. And there's students, like, it breaks my heart to think that people have graduated from chiro school and they have never even heard about the philosophy of chiropractic. I'm like, you've done the time, you're there. Like, yeah, you don't even need to start a degree or anything. Like, you're right there. It's all at your disposal, but they might not have heard the message. So it's so important that people do.
So yeah, I definitely agree. And so from that, I'm going to maybe do a call out to everybody. This year, we're going to ask for your help. The IN8 Summit, we know it's going to be huge. I've set it up because I just know energetically. I spoke to Ash and Katie Pritchard recently, and I've got this visualization in my head. I'm a bit of a weird geek, and I do like Lord of the Rings, and I've got this vision of, like, have you seen Lord of the Rings? Or was that before your time?
One time.
Oh, come on. Well, basically, there's one episode where everyone is like, there's this big red monster crossing the bridge, and Gandalf goes like, you will not pass. But before that, all these orcs are just racing down the columns of the beams. They come in, they're just kind of swarming the good guys. And there's hundreds of thousands of these orcs. And that's what I've got in my head, that these chiros just swarming into the IN8 Summit, all their yellow lanyards, all kind of piling in the front doors, all high-fiving and hugging, jammed together. And they just want to come to kind of get exposed to this.
Are you Gandalf or?
No, I'm not Gandalf yet. No. I'm not cool. Like, Gandalf would be something like Mark Postles. He's like the leader in our profession at the moment. He's a rock star, that guy. He's lacking the beard, he's lacking the hair, but apart from that, he's the Australian Gandalf.
Amazing.
Yeah, but no, I just feel like as if I want them there. And so I'm going to really encourage you guys to get to the IN8 Summit this year. It's going to be in Sydney. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I literally, my body is just vibrating on the coolest level, because I just know it's going to be kick ass. So, sorry to kind of give, I just kind of was overwhelmed by excitement then.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. The last thing is tell us one thing. You've heard some pretty amazing speakers before. You've obviously done some pretty cool things in the past. This year, one thing that you would love to take home, or one of the biggest things you've taken home from the IN8 Summit in the past, or this year, what you are most excited about, I suppose, hearing that you're projecting forward in the future for 2022 IN8 Summit.
Okay. Just speaking with the first thing that comes to mind from my heart, I remember Lou Corletto speaking in 2019.
Yep.
And he just, like, off the cuff, did this amazing little brief synopsis about what chiropractic is. And I wish I could remember the words because they were so good, but he just spoke about our system, and when, life gets too much, or when there's too much stress, but essentially when things are too much, things get stuck in our system. And that's when we're subluxated, and chiropractic helps remove those subluxations and help people express life as best they can. And what that means is being able to, I think he said, like, when you reach out and touch a lover's hand to feel that, or when you taste chocolate or look up in the sky, and just being able to experience that, and this beautiful human experience, I guess, is what it is. And that's what chiropractic helps people to do. So that's something that stuck with me that I remember.
Oh man, it's so cool. Love that. So good when it's so much more than just the back pain, neck pain, boring stuff. It's like connecting the human to human element. It's just like, that's what the students need to hear, but also just those ones that you mentioned that have got their ticket, but they don't even know this whole human element of chiropractic exists. They're the ones when hopefully they're like, oh, the aha moment. That's what I'm excited about, seeing multiple light bulbs go boom this year.
Yep.
You are such a champion. You're such an inspiration to so many, and I really do mean that. I'm so proud of you, because the fact that you've quite a few years younger than me, but you've stepped up and you just said like, "Yep, I got this." And
Thank you, Sam.
it's a beautiful thing to see you just flourish into the person that you are, and seeing the practice grow the way it is from what you're doing. And you really do deserve big accolades, because you've done a bloody good job. So can't wait to hear you this year speak on stage, and I think you're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to. It's like a weird full circle moment where I remember being in the crowd in first year and being like, they invited the students up on stage. A couple of people did, to share their story. And I was so scared and sweaty. I probably still will be this year. But to think that now you've invited me to speak is like, just a crazy amount of gratitude. Thank you so much. I can't wait for all of it.
No, you're going to absolutely kick ass without even knowing what you're going to talk about. I just know you're going to be brilliant. So, Liv, love you to bits. Think you're awesome. And I can't wait to see you in a few months' time at the IN8 Summit. And let's catch up soon.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome, guys. Take care. Stay tuned for the next podcast. And we look forward to seeing you at the IN8 Summit in the 1st and 2nd of October. If you haven't bought your tickets now, you know what you should be doing. All right. See you guys. See you, Liv.
Bye.